The second part of what we did for the clothing unit was to look at giving reasons or a whole bunch of ideas of because. And the first one we took a look at was a because that we had seen before, and that was the idea of kara. Always remembering that the reason, the why, comes first and before the kara. And that can be in any plain form. And probably the best way to see that you're using it correctly is to think, what would I say in English? And match the reason tense. Too often we tend to put the reason in the present tense when the actual thing that happened is in the past tense, and it should have been a past tense reason. When we're doing the plain form with kara, please keep in mind that if you're using the na adjective or noun, you're required to be able to use the plain form of des, and just make sure you can review that. Mostly we see it as da kara, but then you'll see janai kara or datta kara, janakatta kara. The other way that we looked at because was a new one of node. And node is also an effective way to give reasons. And generally we use node when the outcome of the reason that we're giving is some kind of accepted fact. It's not a request. It's not a suggestion. It's not probably. It's not anything that could be interpreted differently person to person. So those are not things that we use node for. For node, we use the exact same rationale as we do with kara, with one small difference. And that small difference is if we would be using da in our reason, we flip that to na. That's the only thing that's different. When we looked at giving because reasons, we also looked at the idea of giving multiple reasons why. And that was the idea of using the setup, which is the plain form, and again, plain 4M, meaning any of the four tenses, present, negative, past, or negative past, and then you add a she onto this. As we were saying in class, this is really the ya nado for reasons, or the tari for reasons. So you can think of it like ya nado or tari shimasu. In other words, you can have one, you can have two, probably to about a maximum of 3 reasons. We also saw that this is a way that you can refuse to do something without saying no. Simply list your reason, chotto isogashi, let it sit there, and your listener understands that whatever they're asking you to do is not going to happen. Another way we gave reasons is in saying that something was easy or difficult to do. And this is a way to do things with verbs only. And what it says is take the root form of the verb, which is the verb minus the mas, and either add yasui or nikui and then des. This is the idea of yasui, meaning it's easy to, nikui meaning it's difficult to. Now, this is translated into English in many ways. For example, my t-shirt is comfortable to wear is t-shirts wa kiyasui desu. I find it tough to eat bananas. Banana wa tabe nikui desu. The one thing that you have to remember from here is that yasui and nikui end in e. So they are essentially an adjective. So it's yasui, yaskunai, yaskata, or yaskunakata to be effective. And then your des, if you're using it formally. To use it informally or in the plain form, we'd simply remove the des. Finally, we took a quick look at only. And only is usually a word that we insert dake. And when we insert the dake into a sentence, if we have an o or a ga in there, we replace it. We get rid of the o's or the gas. All the other signals remain. The other way to do only is a little bit fancier, but used in that it requires 2 parts to do it, not 1. So in this particular case, we write our sentence, we put our shika, and then we put a negative verb. So for example, sushi dake tabemasu. I eat only sushi. Or sushi dake. Nope, I was doing the wrong one. Sushi shika tabemasen. I only eat sushi. Both of them there, and just like with any other two-part things, both of these parts have to be there to make it work.